Some places are more than just wood and nails, they're containers. They hold on to moments in time, soaking up the emotions spilled within their walls, joy, love, and sometimes unimaginable rage. Few places in American history are as stained by violence and mystery as this small, unassuming house standing behind me in Fall River, Massachusetts. Historically, this was 92 2nd Street. Today it's a bed and breakfast, a museum. But on a sweltering August morning in 1892, this house became the scene of a crime so brutal and so shocking that it still haunts the American imagination over a century later. This is the Lizzie Borden House. On August 4, 1892, 2 people were slaughtered inside these walls. Andrew Borden, a wealthy and notoriously frugal businessman, was found on that sitting room couch, his face hacked to pieces by at least 10 blows from a hatchet-like weapon. Upstairs in the guest room, his wife, Abby Borden, lay dead on the floor, the victim of an even more frenzied attack, 19 strikes to the back of her head. The only other people home were the family's maid, Bridget Sullivan, and Andrew's 32-year-old daughter, Lizzie. Lizzie Borden would become the prime suspect, the subject of a sensational trial that gripped the nation. She was accused, but ultimately acquitted. The case was never officially solved, justice was never served, and that's why we're here. Because when a story is left unfinished, when a death is this violent, the energy of that trauma can linger. Investigators, staff, and overnight guests report terrifying encounters with the spirits of the slain. They talk about apparitions, disembodied voices, and the chilling feeling of being touched by an unseen hand. They say the horrors that happened here refuse to stay buried. Tonight we're going inside. We're going to walk the same floors, breathe the same air, and when darkness falls, we're going lights out. We're here to uncover the unforgivable secrets of the Lizzie Borden House. To even begin to understand the ghosts of this house, you have to understand the story of the people who lived and died here. The Bordens were a family simmering with tension. Andrew Borden was one of the wealthiest men in Fall River, president of a prominent local bank and a director of other major businesses, yet he was famously stingy. He refused to install modern conveniences like indoor plumbing, even as the world was moving into the 20th century. This house, right on a busy street, was far below the status his wealth could have afforded, a fact that was a constant source of friction. The family dynamic was fraught with resentment. Lizzie and her older sister Emma, who was conveniently out of town during the murders, shared a deep dislike for their stepmother, Abby. They called her Mrs. Borden, never mother, and tensions had recently boiled over when Andrew gifted some property to Abby's side of the family. This was not a happy home, it was a pressure cooker. And on August 4, 1892, it finally exploded. Let's go inside. The moment you step through this door you feel it. A heaviness, a stillness that isn't peaceful, it's watchful. I'm standing in the main entryway. To my right is the sitting room. This is where the horror began for the outside world, but it was actually the final act of the morning's bloodshed. Let's step into the sitting room. It's been preserved to look almost exactly as it did in 1892. And right there, that sofa, is where Andrew Borden took his last breath. It's a replica, of course, but it sits in the exact spot. On that morning, Andrew came home from his walk around 10:45 a.m. The family maid, Bridget Sullivan, whom the family insisted on calling Maggie, let him in. Lizzie would later claim she helped him get comfortable on the sofa before she went out to the barn. Bridget went up to her attic room to rest. Andrew Borden was left alone, asleep on this couch. Sometime between then and 11:10 a.m., the killer entered this room, raised a hatchet, and brought it down on Andrew's face over and over again. One of his eyes was split cleanly in two, a gruesome detail that suggests he was asleep for that first blow. The attack was so violent, his face was left unrecognizable. Now imagine this room right after 11:10 a.m. Bridget Sullivan is woken from her nap by Lizzie shouting from downstairs, "Maggie, come quick, Father's dead, someone came in and killed him." This is the room where that discovery was made. The panic, the shock, the alleged grief, it all happened right here. Paranormally, this room is incredibly active. Guests have reported feeling Andrew's presence, with some women claiming they've been grabbed or touched near the couch. It's as if his spirit is still here, restless, maybe angry, trapped in the final, violent moments of his life. From here, we go into the dining room. This room has its own grim history. While it wasn't a murder scene, it became a makeshift morgue. After the bodies were found, both Andrew and Abby were brought here and laid out on the dining table for their initial autopsies. Think about that. The family's dining table, the center of domestic life, became a slab for a gruesome medical examination. Later, in preparation for the trial, both heads were removed from the bodies, defleshed, and kept as skulls to be used as evidence in court. When those skulls were presented to the jury, Lizzie Borden fainted. Today, replica skulls sit on a side table, a constant grim reminder of the brutality that unfolded. Now let's go up the main staircase. This staircase is critical, because while Andrew was being murdered down here, his wife Abby was already dead. She had been for over an hour. She lay upstairs, in the guest bedroom, just at the top of these stairs. This fact is one of the most chilling parts of the crime. The killer murdered Abby, then waited. Waited for Andrew to come home, waited for Bridget to go to her room, and then they killed again. The cold, calculated patience of it is just terrifying. We're now on the second floor landing. The layout here is strange, a testament to Andrew's cheapness. The rooms are all connected. You have to walk through one to get to the next. This is the John Morse room, named for Lizzie's uncle who had stayed over the night before. And this is where Abby Borden died. Step inside. The energy in this room is different. It's thick with sadness. On the morning of August 4th between 9 o'clock and 9:30 a.m., Abby came up here to make the bed. She was alone. Forensic analysis suggests she was facing her killer when the first blow landed, a hatchet strike to the side of her head. She turned and fell, face down, right here between the bed and the dresser. The killer then stood over her and delivered 17 more blows to the back of her head. She was left there, undiscovered, for nearly 2 hours. All while life went on downstairs. Lizzie was in the house. Bridget was outside washing windows. The killer was just waiting. Many consider this room to be the epicenter of the haunting. Guests staying overnight have reported hearing soft weeping sounds. Others have seen the indentation of a body on the bed, as if someone is lying there, only for it to vanish. Doors have been known to open on their own, and people often feel an intense, overwhelming sense of sorrow. This is Abby's room now, a space forever marked by her violent, lonely death. The last key location is down in the basement. It's dark, damp, and has a deeply unsettling vibe. It was down here, days after the murders, that police found a hatchet head that had its handle mysteriously broken off. The prosecution argued this was the murder weapon, and that the killer had broken and burned the bloody handle to hide evidence. This was never proven, but the basement has since become a paranormal hotspot. People report seeing shadows flitting between the stone columns. There's also a story, a local legend really, that the property is haunted by the spirits of 2 young children who died tragically next door, long before the Bordens ever moved in. Some say their laughter is heard in the attic, but their presence is also felt down here, in the oppressive dark. The history of this house is a story of simmering rage, explosive violence, and a complete lack of closure. A family was destroyed, a killer walked free, and a town was left with a scar that never healed. Now that we've walked through the history, it's time to see if that history is still alive. Alright, the sun is down, the last tour is left, and we have the entire Lizzie Borden house to ourselves. The energy in a place like this totally transforms after dark. The daytime shadows that were just corners of a room now feel like they're watching you. Every creak of the floorboards, every groan of the old wood sounds like a footstep. It's an unnerving, heavy silence. Before we hit the hot spots, we always start with a control session. We need a baseline for the environment. We're setting up here in the dining room. As we discussed, this room has its own dark history with the autopsies, but it's not known for the same level of intense personal encounters as the murder rooms. It gives us a chance to test our gear and let the spirits of the house know we're here and that we come with respect. We have our standard kit tonight. K2 EMF meter for electromagnetic field fluctuations, a digital voice recorder for EVPs, voices we can't hear in the moment, and the spirit box. This device scans radio frequencies, creating white noise that spirits can supposedly use to form words. So, let's start. We're at the dining table. It's completely dark, except for the infrared from our cameras. I'm placing the K2 right in the center of the table. Right now it's flat, no lights, that's our baseline. I'm turning on the recorder. It's running. Is there anyone here with us in the dining room? My name is host's name. We're here to hear your story. We mean you no harm. If you're here, can you give us a sign? Can you make a noise or maybe light up one of these devices? The K2 is totally still. The house is silent. This is good. It means if we get a spike later in a hotspot, we'll know it's not just some old wiring. Alright, let's try the spirit box. I'm turning it on now. It's going to get loud. I'll ask some questions and we'll listen for any intelligent responses through the static. Is there anybody here who wants to speak with us? Can you tell us your name? Did you hear that? Sounded like home. Are you telling us this is your home? Who is in this home with us tonight? Is Andrew here? Whoa, okay, that was clear. That sounded exactly like the word leave. Is that what you want us to do? We don't want to upset you. We're just trying to understand what happened. Is Abby here? Abby, we are so sorry for what happened to you. Are you in this room with us? The energy feels like it just shifted. It feels sadder. Are you sad? Can you tell us why? It's gone quiet again. Sometimes that's how it is. A burst of communication and then it's gone. It takes a ton of energy for them to push through, but that one word, leave, was undeniable. It didn't sound like a random radio clip. The tone, the timing, it felt directed. It felt intentional. You know, investigating a place like this, you're constantly second-guessing what you hear and feel. Is it just the power of suggestion, or are we really tapping into something? That's why we do this. We're searching for answers. And if you're on the same search, if you love history, mystery, and the paranormal, make sure you subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell. We have so many more historic and haunted locations to explore, and you won't want to miss a single investigation. We're a small team, and your support is what lets us travel to these incredible places and share their stories. So hit that subscribe button, and let's get back to it. Alright, we've established our baseline, and we've already gotten a potential warning to leave. Now it's time to move into the heart of it. We're going to start where the violence of that day ended, in the sitting room, at the site of Andrew Borden's murder. We're back in the sitting room. It's pitch black. I'm on the floor, just a few feet from the couch where Andrew was killed. The air in here is stagnant and heavy. It feels different than the dining room. There's a real sense of grief in this space, but also something else, an undercurrent of anger. It's not aggressive, but it's there, a deep, simmering resentment. I'm putting the K2 meter on the couch itself, right where his head would have been. I also have a REM pod here, which will scream if its little energy field is broken. I'm putting that at the other end of the couch. Andrew, Mr. Borden, are you here with us? We are here with nothing but respect for you and what you went through. We just want to help tell your story. Is there anything you want to say? The K2 is showing a little flicker. It's going up to the first green light, then back down. That could be anything, but it's interesting it started right when I started asking questions. Mr. Borden, we know you were a very successful man, but we also know there were tensions in your family. Were you worried about something in the days before your death? Did you feel unsafe in your own home? Whoa! Okay, look at that. That's a strong spike. That feels like a direct response. Andrew, was that you? Thank you. Thank you for using your energy like that. Can you tell us who you were afraid of? You can light up the device again. Was it Lizzie? He doesn't want to answer that, or maybe he can't. The energy for that kind of response must be immense. Let's try the recorder. Maybe he can speak to us in a way we can't hear right now. Andrew, I'm holding a digital recorder. If you can speak into this, we can hear your voice later. We just want to know the truth. Who did this to you? Who killed you on this couch? Did you know Abby was already gone? When you came home that day, did you have any idea your wife was already dead upstairs? What was that? Did you hear that? It came from over by the door. That sounded like a footstep. Is there someone else in here with us? Are you moving around the room, sir? The feeling in here has gotten so much more intense. It really feels like I'm not alone. It's that classic feeling of someone standing right behind you. The hairs on the back of my neck are standing up. I'm gonna snap a photo with the full spectrum camera, see if anything is there that we can't see. Nothing obvious in the photo, but that feeling is not going away. It's just an oppressive sadness. The tragedy in this room is so deep. A man killed in his own home, in his sleep, by someone he must have known and trusted. Whatever spirit is here, it is not at peace. Now we have to go upstairs to Abby's room. I'm going to do this next part of the investigation by myself. Sometimes a smaller group or just one person is less intimidating for a spirit to communicate with, especially for someone like Abby, whose final moments were so terrifying. I'm now on the floor of the guest room. The door is closed. I am completely alone. This room is the heaviest in the house. It's not large, and when you're in here by yourself in the dark, it feels like the walls are closing in. You cannot escape what happened here. Right over there between the bed and the dresser is where they found her. The energy is pure sorrow. It's absolutely heartbreaking. I have the spirit box with me, and a single EMF detector. I'm going to keep it simple. Abby, Mrs. Borden, my name is host's name. I'm here by myself. I know you were a private person and I'm so sorry to intrude, but your story has been told by so many people, and we just wanted to give you a chance to tell it yourself. Oh my God, did you hear that? That was immediate, a woman's voice. Help me. Abby, is that you? How can we help you? What do you need? Head. She's talking about her head. Abby, we know what they did to you. We know how you were hurt. It was unjust. It was brutal. Are you in pain? Cold. Yes, it is cold in here. The temperature has definitely dropped. I can feel it on my skin. The EMF meter is also starting to flicker. Just a little. A single green light. Abby, are you doing that? Are you trying to let me know you're here? I'm turning off the spirit box. It feels too aggressive for the energy in here, which feels so delicate. I'm just going to sit in silence with the digital recorder running. Sometimes the most profound evidence is captured in these quiet moments. There's a sound in the corner. It sounds like fabric rustling, like a dress swishing. It's so faint. Abby, are you walking in here? Guests have reported seeing the impression of a body on that bed. Are you resting there now? The feeling of sadness in here is just overwhelming. I feel like I could break down and cry. It feels like an empathetic bleed-through, just absorbing the residual emotion trapped in this room. The loneliness of her death is so palpable. To be attacked so viciously, and for your body to just lie here undiscovered for so long, it's an unforgivable horror. Okay. I think I need to leave her in peace. The evidence we may have just captured is profound. That clear voice saying help me is going to stay with me for a long, long time. Now for the last location tonight, the one I've been dreading, and we are now in the basement of the Lizzie Borden House. If the guest room is filled with sorrow, this place is filled with something else. It's a heavy, oppressive energy. It feels negative. This is where the potential murder weapon was found, where evidence was hidden. There's a sense of dark secrets down here. We're gathered in the center of the basement. The stone walls seem to just swallow all light and sound. It's cold, damp, and smells of earth and time. We have our full setup, REM pod, K2s, recorders, and the full spectrum camera. We're also going to try using dowsing rods, simple L-shaped rods that are said to cross or move in response to spiritual energy. Alright, gear is set. I'm holding the dowsing rods, they're parallel. My first question isn't for the Bordens. It's about that legend, the children who are said to haunt this place. Are there any children here with us in the basement? If so, can you cross these rods for me? Okay, they crossed, thank you. Are you the two children from the story? That's a no. So there is a child spirit here, but not the ones from the legend? Can you tell us your name? We have a small ball here on the floor. If you're a child, would you like to play? Can you push this ball? Maybe the energy isn't a child. Let's refocus. We're in the basement where the hatchet was found. Is the person who used that hatchet in this room with us right now? Okay, so the energy that murdered Andrew and Abby is here. Are you the spirit of Lizzie Borden? That's a yes. So according to this, Lizzie's spirit is here. Lizzie, the trial acquitted you. You were found not guilty, but the world has always believed you did it. Is there something you want to say? Did you do it? Cross the rods for yes, open them for no. Did you murder your father and stepmother? That's a no. According to this session, the spirit of Lizzie Borden is denying her guilt. But the energy here feels conflicted. It doesn't feel innocent. Let's try the spirit box one last time. Lizzie, are you really here? Hiding? What are you hiding? Are you hiding the truth? Or are you hiding from something? Whoa! Something is over by the REM pod. Something just got right up close to it. It's still going. Is that you, Lizzie? Are you moving around the room? Or is there someone else down here with us? Something darker? That was one of the most intense moments of the night. A direct physical interaction with our equipment right after a direct question. This basement holds more than the memory of a hidden weapon. It holds an active, intelligent energy that seems to be protecting a secret. A secret that, even after all this time, refuses to be told. The unforgivable secrets of this house feel darkest right here, in the cold, damp earth under the floorboards. The sun is coming up over Fall River, the darkness has lifted, and with it some of that intense, oppressive energy has faded. Spending a night in the Lizzie Borden house it's hard to put into words. It's more than a ghost hunt. It's a deep dive into a vortex of history, tragedy, and human emotion that's been swirling here for more than 130 years. So, what did we find? We experienced things we can't easily explain. In the dining room, a clear, hostile voice from the spirit box telling us to leave. In the sitting room, intelligent spikes on the EMF meter answering questions about Andrew Borden's fear. We felt that overwhelming sorrow in Abby's room, punctuated by what sounded like a woman's voice pleading for help. And down in the basement, dousing rods pointing to Lizzie's spirit, a denial of guilt, and then that REM pod going absolutely wild. Did we solve the mystery of who killed Andrew and Abby Borden? No. I don't think anyone ever will. The truth of that day died with the people in this house, but did we connect with the echoes they left behind? I believe we did. The energy here feels less like a classic haunting and more like a scar, a residual trauma. The sheer violence and turmoil of August 4th, 1892 were so extreme, they seemed to be permanently imprinted on the atmosphere of the house itself. It's like a psychic recording, playing back moments of pain and sorrow for anyone sensitive enough to listen. The spirits here, if that's what they are, don't seem to be looking for revenge. They seem to be looking for peace. Abby feels trapped in her final lonely moments. Andrew feels restless, his life cut short by betrayal, and Lizzie, if her spirit is here, it's complex and conflicted, forever tied to the crime she was accused of, forever defending herself from beyond the grave. Our final stop isn't here at the house. To truly close this chapter, we have to go to where the Bordens are now, all of them. We're here at Oak Grove Cemetery in Fall River. It's a peaceful, beautiful Victorian cemetery, and right here under this large granite monument is the final resting place of the Borden family. Here is Andrew, here is Abby, and right next to them, buried beside the father and stepmother she was accused of murdering, is Lizzie. After her acquittal, Lizzie, who later went by Lisbeth, and her sister Emma inherited their father's fortune and moved to a large mansion in another part of town, but she was never free. She was a pariah in the community, living out her days in quiet isolation. She died in 1927, and her sister Emma died just 9 days later. They're all buried here, together for eternity. A family destroyed by secrets and violence, now lying side by side in the cold ground. Looking at these headstones, you realize this is so much more than a ghost story. It's a human tragedy, a story about a dysfunctional family, about resentment that festered into something monstrous, and about a crime that left a permanent stain on American history. Whether spirits are truly walking the halls of that house on 2nd Street, or whether the horror of the events is just so powerful that it creates its own ghosts, one thing is certain: the house remembers, and it will not let you forget the unforgivable secrets hidden within its walls.